Hi all, I'm Pramod Gupta and I welcome you to my YouTube channel Data My Passion. So this is a part 2 video on strings in Python. But before moving on to the video further, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, and if you like my video, hit the like button and share with your friends. This will definitely help them out too. Okay, so without any further delay, let's proceed with the video. So in today's video, we are going to see built-in methods in string, okay, available in Python. So suppose I am declaring a variable var here, having a string called learning Python. So learning Python value I'm storing into var variable. Suppose I want to see the length of this particular string, right? How many, how many characters are there in this particular variable? If you want to see that, we can use len function, len function. And since it's a function, you have to use a square bracket, and inside that you have to provide a variable var. So if you if you run this particular code, you will see the length of this particular variable. So this is your len function. Very important to check the length of a particular variable. This is the first function. Then suppose this is written in a mixed case, like L is your capital and P is your capital. Suppose your requirement is to convert all characters into lowercase. You can use variable name, that is object name, and dot, you can use lower method. So dot lower, and if you use that, you will see results all in lowercase like this. Okay, suppose you want to see all the letters in uppercase, capital letters, right? You can achieve that using upper function. Now suppose in this particular string you want to count a particular character, like how many times it has been occurred in the particular variable. Suppose I want to count how many times n has occurred. So if you want to count it, it is first occurrence here, second occurrence here, and third occurrence here. So total 3 times n character has been appeared in the var variable. So if you run this query, you will see value as 3. So n character has been appeared 3 times in a particular variable. Okay, suppose now you want to find a particular character, say n, at what position it is there in the in the variable, or whether that particular character exists in the variable or not. If you use a find method, and if you give the character n, whatever you are finding, if you just give it here, it returns you the index on which this particular character present. So you can see it has written 4. So this is your 0, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So n is present at 4 position. So it has written 4. But you note that it has also present at 6th location and this last location, that is 14th location, right? But the functionality of find function is it always returns you the first occurring position. So first occurring position here is 4, and that is why it is returning you 4 value, right? Suppose you want to find any character which is not there at all. Suppose if you try to find C, okay, if I say C, it is saying -1. It means it did not find it. If suppose you put, there is no Z, right? If I put Z, second example, Z, -1. So whenever it does not find the value, it will return -1. Whenever it find a particular value, it will return position of that value. If I say A, it will return 2. You can see A is at the second location. Okay, so this is your find function. Now there is a center function. So this is basically used for formatting your string. So if you want to format your string, you can use that. Suppose this learning Python, you want to print up to 30 characters, okay, and you want to prefix and postfix without any particular value. Okay, suppose there is a requirement like your field has to be of equal length 30, okay, and in order to make that field 30, you want to pad something. So this is basically used for padding. So when I say center, it means that you have to put this variable at the center and put an extra padding with the help of this dash. Okay, so you can use this dash or any other character, whatever you want, you can put it here. So this particular method of accept 2 argument. So if you want to see it, what kind of argument or method signature you can see it here. It has width whatever width you want to get a variable up to available, suppose you want to get a width up to 30, so you can provide the number 30, and then fill character we have to mention. So I'm mentioning it here, dash. So you can see that learning Python is placed at the center, and remaining padding has been done with the help of dash. Okay, so this is your center variable. And if you want to verify like what is the length of this particular complete padded thing, you can apply length on top of that and you can get 30, whatever we applied here, right? So that's what. Now there is few check functions available. Like you can check whether a particular variable is alphanumeric or not, whether it is a alpha value or not, numeric or not, or is it having a title case or not, is it uppercase or not, or lowercase or not. All this thing you can check with the help of ready-made function available, inbuilt function available in Python. So suppose this is your variable and you want to check whether this particular variable is alphanumeric or not, whether the particular variable contain both alphabets and numbers. So it is returning true, okay, because it is containing your alphabet and numbers. Suppose if you remove number out of this, it will say true because it is containing alphanumeric here, okay. And suppose if you say 1 2 3, again true, okay. So okay, let me again make it to original case, true. Suppose if you want to write anything else, it will say false because it is not alpha. This particular symbol is not alphanumeric character, right? That is why it is saying false to it. Okay, let me make it as it is. Okay, now suppose this is your variable which is only having alphabets. So if you just run this code, it will say true because it is containing all the alphabet. And if you put any number to it, it will be false because it is containing number also. And we are just checking whether it is alpha or not. Okay, so it will be false. So let me bring it to the original situation. So true, right? Then suppose you want to check whether a particular variable is numeric or not. So I have a number stored here. So you can see it is saying true. If you add any alphabet, it will be false, right? So this is your is numeric variable. Now there is a method called isTitle just to check whether your first character is uppercase or not, in uppercase or not. So if you want to check that, it will return true. If you make it small case, it will return false. Simple, right? So this is your isTitle case. Suppose you want to check whether a particular variable is in completely uppercase or not. All characters should be in uppercase. Then it will return true if all characters are in uppercase. If any of them is in lowercase, it will return false. You can see that here. Okay, so this is your isUpper function. There is another function called isLowercase. Whenever your complete variable is in all lowercase, it will say true if it all characters are in lowercase. If any of them is in uppercase, it will return false. So this will be very important in conditional statements. Okay, whenever you want to check whether a particular is in uppercase or lowercase or isTitle case, or whether it is a numeric field, all those things you can check it. And based upon the requirement, you can use them in the conditional statements. There is another function called ends with. So whenever you want to check whether a particular variable ends with a n, you can check it here. It will return true if it is ending with that. If you just say c, it is not, this particular variable is not ending with c, so it will return false, right? So this is your ends with built-in method. Now suppose if you want to check whether a particular variable is holding space or not, there is a function called isSpace. You can use it here, and if you put any value, it will be false. So this is your isSpace function. Now similar to find function, there is another function called index. Okay, suppose there is a variable called abc, and you want to check whether what is the value of what is the index of a particular character b. If you want to check that, you can see it here. It returns you the index of that variable. Now this is your index variable. Now talking about split function, there is a function, inbuilt function available called split. Whenever your variable is separated by any particular delimiter. So in this example, I am using a pipe delimiter. Okay, so my variable is holding this data and this data is delimited by pipe operator. Suppose you want to split these data with pipe operator, and then you want to store each and every value into a list. Okay, you can do like that. You can assign a variable, and then you can use split function, and you can use separator as an argument, and you can provide this pipe as an argument, because this is your separator, right? Pipe. So if you do that, and if you try to print that list, you will see this value 101, put it here. So these are all, this value gets separated with the pipe delimited. So in the real time scenario also, there you might be reading a text file one by one, putting into a variable, and then do the processing or separate them out with the help of separator and put it into maybe an Excel or maybe into the database. This split function is very helpful in doing the data processing in machine learning projects. Okay. Now there is another function called partition, and the function of the how it perform, like partition actually try to find this particular character, and it will divide it into three parts. So whatever is before this part, that will be your first one, and this one will be second one, and at the center it will keep the separator itself. So it returns you a tuple, and it just always gives you three value in it: before part, separator part, and after part. So if I execute that, you will see that before part, the separator part, and after part. And note that only the first occurrence of separator will be separated, and it will always return you a tuple with the three particular element inside it. Okay, so what is tuple, I'm going to cover in my future videos, so don't worry about it now. Okay, so this is your partition function. The last one is join function in my tutorial. Okay, so it is opposite of split. So you are splitting in this step here, and here what you are doing, you are actually joining them back. So you are using a separator called pipe, and you want to join these values in from a list with the help of pipe, and this is what you will get. So this is what is, I would say, all the built-in function available in Python. So this is not the exhaustive list. There are many more functions available, but these are all, I would say, most useful function which I have covered in my tutorial. There will be many more function available, which always you can find in Python documentation. It will going to help you out that. So I hope that you understood all the whatever I have explained you, the method in build function available in Python, and these are very useful. So you should know about them. Okay. So again, if you like my video, press the like button and subscribe to my channel. And again, thank you so much for watching my video. And if you have any comment or any question regarding any of the topic, please put down in the comment section. I will definitely reply to that, answer all of them. So thanks for watching again.